Hi, good morning. Yes, it is still New Year's Day. You are not imagining things. I read slightly on into chapter 8, and I actually think it's quite appropriate to also do this chapter today. So hence why you're getting two chapters in one day. And the title of this chapter is The Poison of Reading Too Much into Something That Does Not Exist. And I think it is really, really apt for starting your year off and starting it off on the right note. Especially when you're second guessing yourself, when you're unsure of other people, and maybe you're surrounded by people who are really snappy, who are in bad moods, and you're trying to make sense of something. And funnily enough, as I read down through chapter 8, it kind of doesn't really finish the way that it starts either, which I think is very interesting. And I sort of hummed and hawed as to should I actually rewrite this chapter? But you know what? Something is telling me to leave it. Something is telling me no, don't rewrite it. Just go with it. And because at the end of the day, people take from it for what they need. And somebody somewhere will need to hear these words. And yes, you can hear my dog in the background as well. Just making sure that everybody knows that he exists as well. So anyway, that's what dogs are there for, to completely remind you how good life really can be. And they just want to constantly make us happy. Unconditional love. You cannot beat it. I remember actually reading, just before I start reading, I remember actually reading somewhere that we were, or somebody said that once you have teenagers in your house, make sure you go and get a dog, because you will need somebody to come home to that is glad to see you. So, but my God, even when you leave the room for 5 minutes, they'll welcome that you get back in, so they're great, Anyway, let's get on with chapter 8 of Been There, Done That, Still Not Bought the T-shirt. And the name of this chapter is The Poison of Reading Too Much into Something That Does Not Exist. I titled this chapter in February 2020, when I sat down to begin writing this book. And I knew this would be the hardest chapter to write, as this chapter is one where I attempt to face one of my biggest demons. Me, myself, and I. All the exact same person. Me, myself, and I. I think if aliens were to come down here and take me back to their spaceship to probe and find out about us, they would have me on their table and send me back within about 5 minutes and tick me off as a lost cause. My head is a strange place to be, and I doubt very much I am alone. I do think I am a complete contradiction, and even I frighten myself with the thoughts that can pop into my noggin. I find it fierce frustration that I get everything perfectly in order in my head, and then I open my mouth and sweet lordy lord, what was going on in my head absolutely was not what came out of my mouth. I seriously have lost count of arguments that I've had with people and with myself in particular, where I thought what was right in my head was taken so wrong when it came out of my mouth. And I was left standing there going, that is not what I meant at all. And yet in my head, I thought I was doing and saying the right thing. Not so much now, but it still does happen when you are in work or speaking to a friend or someone is off or seem in bad form, or you get a text going, can we talk? I automatically jump to the wrong conclusion. What have I done wrong? Or I start to build up these conversations in my head and I imagine all sorts of things. And the mad things, it's always okay. I used to be a whole lot worse until someone pointed out to me how bad my resilience levels actually were. And that I took things way too personally. Everything that was being said to me, or if people came into the office in bad form and was short with me, I was taking it personally. and was getting sicker and sicker in my stomach at going to work. But then it would turn out that it was absolutely nothing to do with me. People are funny. When they're in bad form or things are going on, or, they don't take into consideration how they speak to other people. And when you point it out to them and sort of kind of say, why are you being so short with me? I'm not. But you are, because I'm on the receiving end of it. So anyway, let's get on and see what happens. I began trying to put this into practice, and I started off small. If someone came into the office and I said, good morning, and they were short with me, or if I was having a conversation and they were abrupt, I'd take a deep breath. I started calmly taking them to one side, away from others. I never do it in front of somebody. I've had it done in front of people and it's not nice. Take them aside and ask, are you okay? Did you get an email that upset you? Did you get a text that upset you? Did you see something on Facebook or Instagram that has upset you? Is there anything I can do for you? You find people start looking at you as if you have 6 heads, and they will inevitably go, no, everything's fine. Why? And you still remain calm and say, because you were rude, or you were abrupt, or you were off towards me. And I know it's not personal, so how can I help? Now, please let me clarify something. This is only possible when you can think outside the box and everything is okay in your world on that particular day. But if you're having a bad day, you more than likely will take it personally, especially when it's somebody that you don't particularly like. We've already hit on living in your own head in chapter 1 when perception was being discussed. But this is not what I want to try and explore here. Here I want to look at a closer look at what it does to our self-confidence, our self-worth, relationships, the work environment, the social etiquette. Because it does, it really does. When you read continuously into situations, or, you don't ask people what's wrong? It does have an effect on your self-confidence, especially if somebody's in bad form, or they seem to be in bad form all the time. Justifying yourself, explaining yourself all the time is exhausting. I am queen of justifying myself in conversations, especially when it comes to something I dislike. Why is it I cannot simply turn around and say no without feeling like I have to follow it up with why I'm saying no? Here's another one I'm fantastic for: making excuses or justifying people's behavior. Last time I checked, I wasn't actually that person's mother. I'm dreadful at it. I actually make excuses for people behaving dreadfully. But I'm not their mother. And in fact, actually, do you know what? Their own mother probably wouldn't do it. Maybe some might. I don't know. Anyway, I've lost count the number of times I've been slagged by people when I have tried to see the good in people when there is no good there. No, seriously. Leo Tolstoy sums it up quite nicely. Life could be limitless joy if we would only take it for what it is, in the way that it is given to us. If only it was that easy. But again, I am grateful to Mr. Tolstoy for giving humanity these wonderful words to attempt to put into practice. I'm shocked to find out when someone likes me, but at the back of my head, I am thinking, it will not take long until they change their mind. Have I already set myself up for the fall, or am I instinctively right, or so in sync now with my inner knowingness that I can tell who does like me, who does not like me, or those people that do not really have an opinion on me, as I am only there to serve a particular purpose, and once that purpose is served, I am irrelevant in their life. The latter does not bother me, actually. That third point does not bother me at all, because quite frankly, I've come to accept I am not a people person. And knowing that I can serve a purpose and move on and there be no negative situations suits me wonderfully. I can converse with these people and pass pleasantry and even have a giggle. And it is what it is. I worry forming relationships with people because, well, I think you can all guess at this stage, my past relationships, friendships, have not exactly worked out great. I keep telling my husband he should win some sort of Nobel Prize for surviving the past 16 and a half years together. He's a saint in my book. Also, I actually am surrounded by a few really good people. And I've even said to them, like, I've scratched my head kind of going, why are you traveling this path with me? They are beautiful souls. And I don't deserve the actual proper friends that I have, in my opinion, because, you know, I am a strange cookie. But on saying that, I love these women to bits. They are beautiful. They are honest. They're fun. They're as funny as hell. But then again, they'd want to be. They are traveling this journey with me. But I'm blessed every day. And their photographs are sitting on my grateful board that is beside my bed. I have photographs of these women beside my bed because I'm blessed every day. They're the good eggs. So thank you. And you know exactly who you are. So thank you. I've gotten much better at seeing a text message and realizing it's not meant the way it has been sent. Because it's a bloody text or email. And so many people do not know how to actually write them correctly. Stop writing bad text messages and bad emails. I'll teach you. Actually, I think I might run a course on it. Sign up to it. Too many arguments happen because of badly written text messages and emails. It's dreadful. Stop. Anyway, I often will ask a colleague to read an email in work before I send it, just in case it could be misconstrued in any way. And especially on the days when I am not firing on all cylinders, which can be quite regularly. If only more people would do that. But then again, I'm not too precious or big-headed that even at this stage in my career, that I do know it's okay to ask for help. Problem is, people will not ask for help because it is seen as a weakness. To you, I say, cop on! Why do we torment ourselves with what has not happened? And why is it in a negative scenario? Conversations that could take place. God, sometimes I have got to cop on and go, stop. Those conversations haven't even happened. Stop. Situations that could happen. I know I have a psychic side in me, yeah, but they don't. Those situations that I've imagined don't always take place. Very rarely, actually. The scale's being 4 pounds up instead of 4 pounds down. Girls, get over it. We retain water. Things happen during the month. Depends on the time of day that you weigh yourself. Stop! Imagining bumping into people that you've fallen out with. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there because, do you know what? I'd be a hypocrite if I even started with that one. I dread bumping into anybody I've fallen out with. So let's move on. Fear of going to places just in case. Convinced you cannot go for that promotion because, why not? Why can't you go for that promotion? Other people have gone for it. So you don't get it in that particular job. Who says that you can't go for another job and get a different type of promotion? Who says that you can't change the track that you've been on? Retrain. I scratch my head about people in work. I really do. Changing jobs and meeting new people. So I'll stay here because it's what I know. You've been in a job 5, 10, 15 years and you're still only 35. I'm 43. It's the way that it is. Is negativity so much easier to home in and be a part of than positivity? Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And why? Because we have an ego. And ego tells us we're not worth it. And negativity is better than positivity. So what did I tell you in the previous chapter? Give ego something to do. Tell it to go and play with the Bermuda Triangle. What if we could find a way of putting more focus on the positivity than the negativity? I am one of the most positive people traveling through this life of ours. I always have a smile on my face. Cheeky, I've been told, but it's there. And I look on the bright side of life. Yeah, unfortunately, when it is something to do with me personally, my own inner side, that is when I'm not as forthcoming with the positive stuff. I do not feel good enough. I do not feel worthy enough. I'm looking around when being paid a compliment. I pass off work as, it's no big deal. I compare myself to others. Of course, everyone is better than me. So why do I do it? I am, after all, trying to write a book and expecting you guys to listen to me and take my advice. Because like Bill Gates, and here's the answer, I do lack self-confidence within myself. But I do not let it stop me from trying. That's the difference. Unless I keep trying and find my niche in life, I will not know what I'm missing out on. I do not regret things I have done unless people have got hurt. I never want to hurt anyone intentionally, but I do not want to ever regret that I did not try something just because. I feel proud that I can stand up and say that despite all my shortfalls and how I view myself, I still try hard to achieve something, even if it is making my bed every morning. This is another reason why I am writing this book. I remember coming across these words a while ago and thought, yes, that's me. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. And best days give memories. Let me tell you a very quick and short story of one of my jobs. I really thought this job was going to be my chance to shine and be seen and really make a difference. I was totally sucked in the interview, and that they really wanted me and that my experience was exactly what they needed. Then I started the job, and within a noticeably short space of time, I discovered I was not welcome in the company at all. I think one person liked me, and that was about it. The MD literally did not want me there at all, and it transpired that she was backed into a corner by her management team to hire a PA. So she went out of her way to make life impossible for me. In other words, to prove that she didn't need a PA. When I went to my manager, as even though I was her PA, she was not my manager. It was a strange setup. Just go with it. When I went to my manager in an awful state to tell him I needed to sit down and speak with her as to why she had such a problem with me when I had done no wrong, He pleaded with me not to, as he would lose his job if I approached her. One of the jobs I had to do, due to the fact that she was not a fan of soft copy reports, i.e. reading reports on computers. She liked everything printed out. And so all reports from her management team had to be put into a folder in the separate departments. I was working away doing this about 3 months into the job. And as I put the reports into the folder in their individual departments, I saw a paragraph that my own manager had written about me. And it said, I will have to have words with Karen because I have had complaints from staff about her irritating personality. Those words hit me like a lead balloon. I could not believe what I was reading, especially after he knew how upset and sick I was feeling. I went home, made an appointment with my doctor to write me out with stress. The thing is, the company did not like me because I was a positive person and looked on the bright side of life. I went on to get another job, and this is a place I thought I would be safe working in because it was for a charity. And it turned out this MD did the same thing to me as the previous. Sad thing is, they were both women, both in their 50s. Should have known better. Because of these 2 jobs, I made the decision to retrain because I was not going to work in conditions where people, and especially management, think they had the God-given right to treat staff in such mannerism. I also attended, just before I go on any further, one of my best friends lived that entire time with me. And at times I wouldn't have been standing through that time if it had not been for her. And she is an amazing lady, with such good soul, good heart. But she kept me standing through that entire time. And I think the important thing was I allowed her to, which is not something that I was used to. But you do need to let people help you. It's not wrong to let people in. It's not wrong to show people that you're struggling, because somebody will always be there for you. There's always somebody there. There's always, always, always somebody there. And so I also attended this amazing lady who helped me with what was going on in my head and what should have been going on in my head. I will always be grateful for the techniques she taught me. The question is, can you ever really move past everything that has happened in your past life, or do you just learn to adapt them into your present life? You learn to adapt. For anyone looking to take back control, contact Miss Catherine Troy. She's based in Bray, County Wicklow, and she is one amazing lady. I have had many things happen to me at an incredibly young age, stuff that does not need to be spoken about here. But through my support network and people who did come into my life, whether it be for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, I found the tools to be able to help adapt all of this stuff into my life and pick myself up, warts and all, and get dressed each day. I remember coming across these following words a long time ago, and the picture at the time was actually a golden retriever. But these are words that have given me the encouragement to go on and know that it was okay to be me. Thank you, Lauren Miracle, for words that mean so much to me in so many ways. I live in my own little world, but it's okay. They know me here. Getting lost in my head, even if it is in negative thoughts, is okay, so long as I do not take up residency as one of my very dearest friends says to me, visit them, just do not park your ass too long with them. And she does. She will write that home to you. And I remember her saying it to me for the first time, and she was right. Visit them. Don't park your ass there. She's brilliant. The flip side, of course, is getting lost in the positive side of living in your own head and surrounding yourself with the things that make you happy, even if it is imagining being surrounded by angels, fairies, and unicorns. It is okay to be who you are and be your own support mechanism. Do not underestimate the power of who you are and can be, and do not be afraid of it. And if you can find out how to alleviate that fear, let me know how you did it. Someone said to me recently that they felt when they looked at me and my abilities that they knew I was not afraid of what I couldn't do, because I'm the type of person that does not give up, and I'm not afraid to admit when I have failed, and equally not afraid to pick myself up and try something new. But their actual point was that they could see that I am afraid of what I could do, and the power in me to succeed and show the world I have worth and how good I could be. And I have to admit, I think the person was very right. I am afraid of my own power. You should see my face when someone pays me a compliment for a job well done. Ground, open, up, and swallow me fast comes to mind. And yet I love nothing better than to see a job well done and completed, and it having a great impact on other people's lives. This brings me to one of my little stories, great little stories. One year for Christmas, I bought several people a large money bottle. I got it in Mr. Price. Can't get them anymore, which is a shame. But hopefully if somebody from Mr. Price is watching this, please bring them back in. Fantastic. They came in Smirnoff vodka, Wicked, or Guinness, and maybe Budweiser. A few months after, I found myself back in Mr. Price and these bottles were still here. I thought, I'm going to buy me one of them. This was a highly unusual situation for me, so it felt weird, but I went with it. I was buying something on a whim and selfishly. Yeah. I got home and showed my husband this bottle, and I did say, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this exactly, but it would be so cool to see how much this bottle holds when it's full of change. People start off with great ideas, but the inevitable happens. For about a year, it was a hit and miss affair of throwing change in, until next Christmas when my husband was given a coin counter. Then a light bulb went off in my head. Still unsure as to what this looked like, I continued throwing coins into the bottle, and the coin counter gathered dust. Light bulb had gotten dim. That wasn't until April 2017. I was looking at this gigantic bottle in this coin counter, and it hit me. First, I needed to see how much was in the big bottle, and lo and behold, the great sum of a little over €100 was sitting at the bottom of this gigantic bottle. I took out the waif and strays and left €100 in the bottle, and I sellotaped a page to the bottle where I put a date on the bottle for the first €100, and then to the coin counter I added the waif and strays. I proceeded to put in place that every Friday was going to become Fiver Friday, and into the coin counter would go €5 in coins. And if any other waif and strays happened along the way, they could go in too. And then when it reached €100 in the coin counter, I would transfer to the big bottle. Then each time €100 went in, I marked it on the page on the bottle and dated it. This became a game, and it has been so much fun. 3 years later, April 2020, the bottle is still not filled, but it is incredible what is in it. About 6 months ago, so I don't know, October 2019 it could have been, I went to my husband and said he was not allowed to fight me on it, but that once the bottle was full, he could have the money for his super duper gaming PC he was looking to get. My husband was after this PC for an awful long time, but it's a The only condition was he could not have the bottle till it was totally full, as my part of the game was still to find out how many coins I could get into this bottle. It was really quite exciting. So why am I telling you this? It is not about what happened to the money or happens to the money once the bottle is filled. It is about the determination of putting a plan in place, sticking to it, and seeing what you can accomplish. And also knowing that my hard work that I have put in place will pay off and bring huge happiness to my husband. Now, before anybody starts judging as to, seriously, a $5 Friday, no big deal, dude, what's the thing? You try it and see how you get on, especially with one of these great big, huge, big bottles. And especially when you go to your purse and realize there is not a $5 in coins on a Friday, and you've got to do something about that. Haha. I also tied it back into my monthly budgets. As you know, I do budgets for my home, and I run my home like a business for the household as well. And it is amazing to find out a lot of frivolous spending gets curbed when you are planning to achieve something. It is. While an outcome is the goal of a plan that is in place, the journey is the ultimate prize. It's not the goal, it's the journey. It is along that journey that you learn and grow and explore and discover. Do not just keep the end result in sight. Remember to look around at the sights and the smells and the view of the path that you travel while reaching the goal. And always remember that while you think the goal you put in place is what you will achieve, a path traveled may ultimately give you different options. And so be aware a goal may change from what you first thought it would be to what you were looking to achieve overall. It could be a stepping stone, but never underestimate doing anything in stages. Don't. Stages are very important. After all, I did not think that filling the bottle with coins would result in it buying a PC. I thought it might go to a holiday. Home decorating. Bunging it in the bank and see what happens. The journey created a new end result from the original concept. It did. So to finish off this chapter in the very inspiring words of Mr. Arthur Ashe, success is a journey